English only. And this is exciting to me because, for one, I've had English medium all my life. I've been educated in the medium, and I think that there is something unsaid about the English language and the role of language, I think, in the UPSC exam in general. And I don't think it is often recognized as a fact. And what I think goes on ultimately, whether it's English medium or Hindi medium, is that the exam is highly biased towards language. It's highly biased towards language, particularly when you enter the mains. And what I mean by that is that if you or anybody has an upper hand on language, it is very likely that you will do better than that person who does not have an upper hand with language, but you both have the equal content. So knowledge is one thing, command over language and proficiency, that's a whole different thing. A problem with that, I think, which we need to recognize, which I think has been recognized, that's why this thing exists, which I am going to tell you, is this language acquisition, this skill, it takes time. We come with a baggage that we carry from our school and our colleges, and it has a very huge impact. I'm telling you this because, particularly in the mains, you are writing, if I'm correct, no less than 27 hours worth of written examination in English or Hindi or whatever language that you choose. That is a lot of writing, a lot of expression. You will find the same challenge reappears in the interview also. That is why this exists. Why it also exists, I'll tell you, is because from my past experience, and in the Nirnay IAS program, I do mentorship. I have an advanced personalized mentorship module which I run and I direct it, and I also create tools for my students, and so that's a whole different story which I'll share. But what I also do is I teach essay, and I am in charge of the whole answer writing segment of it. Now, there, every few days, I get a query, and I get a confusion, and I get a genuine issue with people do not understand the Hindi and the English simultaneously, some people. And what I had done initially, when I started out, it was purely English. And because it was purely English, many of my students who needed the bilingual language, they did not follow me. But most of the students which became connected with me were from the southern parts of the country. And now, because I shifted to the bilingual format, I missed that. And I think we should have all options, right? So this is a step towards that. I'll go over the features and I'll introduce some gentlemen who you will also be very happy to meet, who will be teaching you in this program. So we'll just quickly go over the features of this program, although I'll tell you what I need to tell you. Apart from the features, I won't really spend too much time on these features because I think you will find the same stuff reproduced in the brochure. So what I'd like to do is tell you what's happening behind the scenes, what is the logic behind it, what is the philosophy behind it, what really happens, what is the actual user experience if you come into this. First things first, this program is not a normal coaching program, I must emphasize, and I must elaborate. It isn't a normal coaching program, whether that's online or offline, is because most coaching programs will focus mainly on content, and I think that pretty much everybody gives you good content. I don't think anyone has a super leg up on that count. What really makes things different is how comprehensive is it? Is it universal? Does it answer every question that you have? Does it take you through all the processes of the exam? Another interesting thing I'll tell you from my experience. When people come into this program or any program, most people don't know what their needs will be in the future, right? They have an idea of what they want. Maybe they want some answer writing practice. Maybe they want guidance. But the guidance is a very generic thing, and I have no faith in that word. I think guidance is a very loaded word. We need to have careful consideration about what it really means. What people experience as you go along in this UPSC journey, it is extremely vast. You realize that you need support when it comes to testing, then you need support when it comes to the interview, you need mentors, you need some sort of tracking system, and this is all apart from the guidance. All of this stuff is included, which is why it is universal. It is not like any other coaching program because it includes various other courses from other educators also. The idea is this. The idea is twofold. I'll tell you the philosophy in 2 lines. Give the students everything they may need, but give them a direction also so that they can filter, right? So it's not just a huge library or database of courses, of classes, of content, of PDF notes. It includes also a very pinpointed mentorship module which constantly keeps track on you. So you get the autonomy, you get the freedom to decide and choose what you want to do, but you do not get the freedom to do anything you want to do. We make sure that you stay on track. We make sure, at least that is what my endeavor is, whole and soul, this is what I want to do. Make sure that you are on that track and you keep disciplined, right? And you are accountable. This is important. I don't know how many people do this, but accountability on a daily level, on a daily basis, is what we are accumulating. And we've seen this module work fabulously. I'll tell you more about that as we go ahead. Some of the features, like I mentioned here, it is a completely English batch. This one, the one that I'm introducing right now, there will be no Hindi. All classes will be purely in English and English only. Extremely beneficial for, I think, my students and my friends in the southern part of the country, also in the northeastern part, anywhere where you're not comfortable with a bilingual format, purely English, which, as it so happens, is something I'm more comfortable with. It says here pre to interview holistic preparation. This is also something which I already mentioned. When I say this, again, this is not a generic pitch type sentence. What I mean here is, of course, there is the generic content. The generic content is taught. The general studies is taught. But before prelims, and a change in orientation also happens. Before prelims, there is a crash course module built into it. The whole thing, from the prelims point of view, is repeated. That's exactly what happens in the mains. Of course, initially, the foundational general studies is taught. But you approach mains, the whole thing is repeated from the mains point of view. That is what it means here. Interview, obviously, I don't want to tell you what it means. We go into it. Advanced personalized mentorship, I'll share some more details as I move on and we reach that slide. Like I mentioned, it is universal, so we have a bunch of things going on at the same time. One of those things is the live classes. I will be introducing to you somebody very interesting, and please help me welcome Venkatesh sir. Venkatesh sir, I'll tell you a bit about Venkatesh sir. Gentlemen, sir, welcome.
Hello, sir.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Pleasure to be with you.
Sir has more than 10 years of experience. Sir will be teaching geography. Sir has produced no less than at least 50 rank holders, sir, you mentioned?
Yes, sir.
50 rank holders. And you have also taught for more than 10 years.
Yes, sir.
Which is, I must admit, more than the number of years that I have taught. So he is the more experienced of the two of us. Sir, what would you like to say to people about geography and about the emphasis of language?
Hello, everyone. So while I talk about the emphasis of language, I think sir has beautifully mentioned about the number of hours where you need to express yourself in writing. So while you read, while you understand about the subject of geography, it is always better to learn in English so that you are able to express yourself better in mains. Ultimately, you are here to clear the exam and you will get marks only through mains. So the basic idea is here. That is the basic essence of language of geography, and most of the books, the content which is available in terms of understanding geography is also in English. Also, when it comes to with geography, it has a huge impact in terms of our daily life. It has a huge impact in how it is, for example, as a student or while you are graduating, our basic thing, we are always fascinated with tourism. We are fascinated with, say, with adventures. If you wanted to do certain kind of adventures, you have to go to certain places. It is not available at every place. If you wanted to see mangroves, you have to go to a coastal area. If you wanted to go for trekking, we have the mighty Himalayas. So geography has a role to play even in the basic essence of things. So this is what I can say, sir.
And very well said, sir. But you also mentioned some unique things about your pedagogy, which I was very impressed with. You mentioned that as far as geography is concerned, you rely heavily on visuals. And you said something about PYQ mapping. What is that?
Yes, sir. So one thing about geography while I teach is visuals make a lot of impact. Say while I talk about tropical evergreen climate, when you see canopy vegetation, where you cannot see the ground from the top, that indicates that it is an evergreen vegetation of tropical areas, especially around the equator. Similarly, when you go to how do you differentiate that with a deciduous forest? the density of vegetation would come down. I think you all might have seen the movie Lion King, where Mufasa will be shown in the movie. It's about the tropical savannas. So these kind of things, I'm very much fascinated while I was preparing.
Yeah.
Also, as I was even before preparation itself, when I see when I see a movie like Lion King, when there is a background, that tells me a lot about that climate.
Yes, sir. Personally speaking, I have never ever understood what a deciduous forest because that word is weird to me. But once you see in actual reality and you realize, oh, this is what they mean by deciduous, things change and they remain changed forever.
Yes, sir.
So I cannot support this idea more about your visual learning, and I think that your knowledge
I
definitely.
can give an
seems to-
example on that, sir. Sorry to interfere. On this, we have one of the, I think, I don't know why in India smugglers become much popular. There is a famous smuggler by the name Virappan.
Yes.
He has been haunted by the police wanted to search him for 18 years. While you wanted to try to search him, he's actually going in the forests of deciduous forest. If he tries to go into the forest of tropical evergreen, there are so many reptiles and all these things. The world would have, Virappan would have been rest in peace much longer ago.
But he
So
was also going into deciduous forest because of the sandalwood.
that
he
is also
wanted
there.
to-
That sandalwood is available in the deciduous forest.
Yes, yes. So that's a great way of explaining things and making connections.
Yes,
So your classes are going to be phenomenal. That much I can tell.
Yes, sir.
So sir, let me also explain to students what we have here. Some of the things are the live classes, of course, sir will be teaching. Like we can already, he's given you a demonstration of sorts. What we have in this system, which is different, is because we also have some recorded courses.
Yes, sir.
There are these whole courses from other top educators which are recorded. Purely in English, as of now, there are two optional subjects which are covered. There is PSIR, there is anthropology. I am obviously teaching essay, and we'll have ethics. I'll be teaching it, and a few selected officers, serving officers, will be teaching ethics. I don't think ethics can be taught unless you have some appreciation of the knowledge of the
Ground
field
realities.
and what really happens there, you know.
The ground realities.
Another feature worth mentioning, sir, I don't know if you know this yet, but we have a very robust system of mentorship, and we will get to that. We should also mention that there are printed materials, and printed materials of pretty much everything are given out, handed out. There is a team, I think, of no less than 30 people, which you never get to meet because they are behind the scenes, always working on this, always updating it.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and I think the actual team behind the whole thing must be at least 70 people.
Yes.
And we only are representing a small portion, which
We are
we
only
come
the
in
face.
Front, yeah,
Yeah.
we come in front of the camera, but going inside, behind, I don't think people appreciate or know. But I plan to make them aware and perhaps even introduce them someday.
Yes, sir. We'll do that.
NCRT integrated GS live courses, sir, that is your department.
Yeah.
And this also brings me to a good point to introduce another friend of mine, Pradeep sir. Pradeep sir, welcome. Pradeep sir also is your faculty for economics. And Pradeep sir also, like Venkatesh sir, has had more than 10 years worth of experience. Now, Pradeep sir has had some special experience in Orissa Public Service Commission. Sir, आपने बताया, you mentioned more than 100 rank holders
Yes, sir.
you have taught and
Yes, sir.
created.
Yeah. I did work with R1 classes when from 2018 to 2021, and in that 3 years period, I produced toppers for continuously 3 years. Not only toppers, I also produced 186 results out of 210, and those 186 results, there were toppers. That means top 6 rankers in top 10. And not only this, I also produced that means for UPSC also, and at the same time I also produced for APSC because I was working earlier. I was working in Hyderabad, and I started my career from Hyderabad only. So I am more comfortable with English. So I produced lot many rank holders. So, but most of the rank holders are in a state civil services examination, because most of the time I work with the regional institutions, not Delhi, because of my personal issues, and because of that the you may be knowing that at the regional levels, that means they are more focused about the state exams rather than UPSC. But at the same time, we were running both batches. That means we were running for state exams as well as we were also running for the UPSC. But that means we were big players in the state exams. Like currently, I was working with the Perfection IS, and Perfection IS is big name for BPSC, and we also produced this year also Perfection IS produced 236 results.
So Pradeep sir, the economics
Yeah.
is common completely,
Yeah.
and you have the same elements reproduced in state, and you have been doing this for the past 10 years.
Yeah.
What is your opinion about economics in UPSC? For most students, what I am hearing, they are not so comfortable.
Okay.
What is your take on it? How do you approach it? How do you make things easy for them?
Definitely. Let me tell you people that economics is the most easy thing. Okay, but the thing is, it is for most of the time it is becoming hurdle for the pupils, and because pupils are most of the time pupils are from non-economic background, or I can say that pupils are most of the time pupils are from the science background rather than social science background or humanity background. Because of that, they create because economics is more, I can say this is more scientific than we can say physics. So that physics, that means it is more conceptual rather than factual. It is more conceptual. So I completely believe that concepts are more important than the facts. So that's why most of the time, that means in case of UPSC, when we talk about the UPSC more focused. Not when we talk about the economics has the three branches. We can say that microeconomics, macroeconomics. Okay, basically two branches: microeconomics, macroeconomics. In between there is also known as mesoeconomics. But most of the time, micro means, what is the meaning of micro? Micro means, that means a small unit. Macro means large unit. So that means like national income is the macro concept. So when we talk about the macro, so that's why because pupils are not aware about. So UPSC is focusing on macroeconomics rather than microeconomics. So that means the basic concept is that we have to focus on fundamentals and basics, and for that I make things very clear, and for that I include that means basic things, fundamental things in my lecture. I started from very basics, that what is difference between economics as such and economy, because we are not going to focus on economics as such. Our focus is going to be economy, and how economy is differentiated with economy is differentiated with economics, because economy is very much part and parcel of economics, but it is little bit different from economics. Because what happened, because in case of economy, when we discuss the economy, we focus that what is economics. Economics is nothing but the optimum utilization of that means limited resources, so that we can produce that means maximum goods and services for the welfare of the people. So we can say that economics is nothing but a discipline which deals with optimum utilization of resources, so that there can be maximum production, so that maximum welfare of the people can be ensured. But how economy is different from economics? When we discuss that this production of goods and services, because in economics nothing is wealth other than the production of goods and services. So if the production of goods and services is going to take place in a definite territory, it may be Noida territory, it may be UP territory, it may be Delhi territory, whatever territory it may be, that economics is going to be converted into economy. So in case of, when we talk about the UPSC point of view economy, that means they are talking about Indian economy. It is not economics, it is economy. So we are going to focus on economy part, that is application part, not the theory part. So we are not concerned whether you people have the background or you people do not have the background. It only matters that how much you understood, and I will make sure that you people understood each and every word of economy.
Sir, one thing I must ask, all this dynamism and difference between economics and economy is appreciable. Students find it hard to connect this current affairs, which is going with the economics, which is constantly changing.
Yeah.
And if you read an editorial in Financial Times or anything, you never want to read economics again. So how do we break that barrier? Because this is an English only batch.
Yeah.
Economics, I feel, is highly jargonized.
Yeah.
How do we simplify this?
Yeah, sure. Let me tell you that, as I said, that when we start something, that means we are going to start with basics. So I will request the students or my students not to focus on that means too much initially in the initial phase, not to focus on although I can understand that every now and then there is a editorial of economics related to economic issue, but the thing is once you do not know that means up to the time you do not know that the basics of economics, it will not be very much comprehensive for you to understand or conceptualize the concept. So first let me give the opportunity, just give me opportunity to give you the idea of basics, and then I am going to connect the basics with the current affair, and I will make sure that on daily basis I must take once I complete the basics of economy, I must make sure that once or every day I make one editorial of economy, and I will discuss that editorial, that means each and every aspect of that editorial. So it will be quite easy for the pupils to conceptualize and to inculcate the economic current affair.
That sounds interesting. So we'll have these editorial analysis
Constantly, definitely, on daily basis. But only once when I will be able to complete the basics. Because if I talk about the repo rate, reverse repo rate, if pupils do not know what is repo rate, what is reverse repo rate, they cannot understand
this is I think the whole issue.
Yeah.
You read an editorial and you realize you don't understand anything that they're talking about, because those concepts take time to accumulate.
Yeah.
So if you could somehow simultaneously also keep explaining.
Yeah, definitely we can do that thing also, but the thing is if pupils are interested, because the thing is this is for the 2025 batch, I think.
Yes.
It is for the 2025 batch. So that means this current affair, okay, so called current affair, it is going to have significance only after 8 months or 10 months, before 10 months. So up to that time we can easily complete the basics, and after that we can do daily basis, and if you allow me, I can explain from basics, but it will take time.
Yeah.
And the pupils may get bored. That is the issue. That's why I said that first I will complete the basics, then I will focus on the daily basis.
So I agree, and this is I think an important point.
Yeah.
To start talking about this stuff, about the difficulty level and time. You see, this is a huge batch. You connect and join a program which will last for a year and a half. That's a whole journey. It's pretty much a small chunk of your life. Okay, it's a long period of time. It is going to take a lot of hard work from you guys. I'm not going to lie to you. What we do is easier than what you have to do. Frankly speaking, your mental, intellectual labor is enormous. None of this stuff is easy. It is not supposed to be easy. You did not sign up for easy. You want to crack the toughest exam in the world, and you want to have one of the most prestigious jobs in the country. You will have to sacrifice for it. We will try to make it easy as we humanly can, as easy as we possibly can. This accumulated resource is what you get. You know what sometimes I tell my students how they should treat this program. Imagine you join a university.
Okay.
And in that university, they don't necessarily come to you. Everything is given. There is a gym, there are departments, there are people, there are places. And people are given the opportunity to choose their electives.
Yeah.
To attend the lectures.
Yes,
if you don't want to attend the lectures, you look at the recorded ones.
Yeah.
If you feel you want to study from notes, you do that.
Yes, sir.
But what we do and what ties everything up together is this.
Live session.
Advanced personalized mentorship.
Yeah.
What I did was, we created this application. I don't think we can appreciate this in this format yet. Once you actually log on to it and you see what happens, we created tasks for the whole syllabus.
Okay.
And we give students these tasks on a daily basis.
Daily basis. That is really going to make differences.
Yes, and we can record exactly what they are doing.
Yeah.
If they skip a day, we know it.
That means we can track their performance as well.
Track their performance, but tracking, more than tracking, I would say. Not just tracking, also course correction.
Okay.
Constant. And every one of them gets a personal mentor.
Okay.
I meet them on Google Meets and we have our conversations, very candid conversations, as if, And so this is what keeps. So you have the university. What prevents you from going crazy with choices? How do you know how to navigate it? We build a universal program, but that is not enough.
Yes, sir.
You have to give them a way to navigate through it.
Yes, sir.
This I have to do now. Why I should not do this now?
Yeah.
Because most of them, they get confused when they have to sacrifice something.
Yes, sir.
FOMO, fear of missing out. This stuff keeps them on track.
Yeah.
You know, what I am able to say at some point in time is that you forget everything. What is the task given to you?
Yes, sir.
Then, when they prepare, I am able to give them tests. And again, this is my approach to them. I say, you read from wherever you want. They ask me about NCERT. I said, fine, you read NCERT. We'll teach it to you. It doesn't matter to me whether you read NCERT or not.
Yes, sir.
What matters is, do you get 70% in my test or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you get that, you are on the right track.
Yeah.
If you don't get it, something is missing.
Yes, sir.
Then we investigate what is missing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so that is how, this is basically what I wanted to share, with sir also and with everybody. This is how things occur here, and this is how things are different. Mentorship is a word which is now quite abused.
Yes, sir.
Everybody is a mentor.
Yes, sir.
It is not clear what a mentor is.
Yes, sir.
So what we did is we expanded it
Okay.
to its limits. And so now we have 4 kinds of mentors. One kind of mentor is standing here.
Okay.
I am one.
Okay.
Another type of mentor is you.
Yes, sir.
You, like my friend Kapil sir, who teaches in the bilingual batch,
Yes, sir.
take mentorship sessions, students.
Okay.
We have another set of dedicated mentors who take them through this,
Okay.
personal mentors. Then we have another category of mentors who are optional mentors, who are constantly guiding them for optional subjects.
Okay, sir.
We have 4 kinds of mentors here.
Yeah.
And so there is nothing in the category of mentorship that we missed.
Okay.
You say mentorship, there is nothing that we won't have in that.
Yes.
I don't need to go into the answer writing program, but I'll give you one interesting thing, sir. You might appreciate it because sir has written mains 5 times,
Yeah.
3 interviews.
Yes, sir.
So you definitely are the more experienced person here in this room. What my approach in answer writing is, mains is hard.
Yes, sir.
Like we discussed.
And mains is the stage where, because prelims is just a rejecting stage, that is not selecting stage.
Correct.
Selecting stage started with mains.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is the more important thing. Okay, and we should have to focus. That means there can never be that we can exclusively say that first we will prepare for prelims, then we will focus on mains. Rather, the approach should be that is nothing but PT cum mains. Okay, we have to go in hand with prelims as well as mains, and on daily basis, as you said, that we will give the that questions after the sessions. Once that my session is going to be completed or sir session is going to be completed, we will make sure that we will have the objective questions as well as subjective questions
No, sir,
of the topic related to what we have discussed.
Yes. So this is one thing. We did something else also.
Yeah.
Which again nobody else does. We created a progressive system of answer writing.
Yeah.
We recognized our philosophy is answer writing cannot be learned in one go.
Yeah, yeah,
You can practice all you want. Unless somebody is taking you through the stages one by one, your skill does not upgrade.
yes, sir.
You have to do a lot of practice just by blunt practice to improve that level.
Yes, sir.
What we do is we take them through 4 levels.
Okay,
Level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. In level 1, they do open book tests. They can do their research.
okay,
They can write, if they want, they can copy paste, doesn't matter.
okay,
We want them to practice. We want them to start to write. We want them to focus on the expression, the way of writing, not the content.
okay,
In level 2, we introduce the restriction of time. It is still open book, but we'll time you.
okay, okay,
In level 1, we don't time you. You can take your time. Just write properly, do whatever you want. In level 2, we time them. In level 3, we create more restrictions. And in level 4, we bring them exactly on UPSC pattern.
UPSC pattern.
So this way they progress slowly. They learn how to write. Then they learn how to write within limits. Then they learn how to write within time and within word limit. And then they learn how to write for UPSC.
Yes, sir.
So this is another thing I had to think.
Ultimate thing.
Yeah. These are the printed material. Great, lot of research. But personally, if you ask me, I think content is not the main thing that one should join this batch for.
Okay,
I think if anybody is thinking of joining, they should not join for this
content,
stuff. Haan.
because they can get everywhere.
You can get it.
Yeah.
Knowledge hai.
Yeah.
The problem is how do you consume this knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Or 1.5 year, who is keeping track of what you are consuming?
Yes, sir.
And is there any feedback mechanism, any course correction whatsoever? That is what makes it different. And again, like I said, content, more content, different type of content,
Yes,
written
sir.
content.
Yes, sir.
Whatever you may need is there. The question is, will you do it? That is the question, the fundamental question. And if you do not do it, then we'll make you do it.
Yes,
That is the challenge we have taken on ourselves. That is our philosophy. And I already mentioned about the mains answer writing program. We have test series, or like I said, test series. I should mention here that sir, Testbook is
Yeah.
traditionally, and it is their USP. They are always historically a testing platform, which has now really come into its prime.
Yes, sir.
But their tests are excellent for prelims, for mains both. So, needless to say, students have access to the entire test series
Okay.
for the whole program.
Okay.
Apart from the strategizer, that application I showed you, where you can track the students,
Yes, sir.
people can get their tracking on the application also. Like I mentioned, this is separate.
Yes, sir.
This is another form of tracking, which is parallelly going on.
Yes, sir.
We'll focus on the application more, but again, if you see a lecture, we know it. If you don't see it, we know it. How many
Okay.
hours you spend watching it, we know it. If you don't complete a lecture, then also we know it.
Yes, sir.
So there's no hiding.
So we can correct them
Yes, and but I think,
at every stage.
I don't think they need correction. Sometimes they're all motivated enough to actually invest and come here. They're motivated to do this stuff.
Yeah, undoubtedly.
What we need is constant nudging,
Okay.
small nudging. Even that works with them. And these are some of the reviews. I don't need to tell you reviews. We'll soon have rank holders. I would like to invite Venkatesh sir as I bring this session to a close. And Venkatesh sir, you explained all these features, and I think it might be a surprise to you also. All of this stuff is going on in the background.
Yes.
That we have this, and I am really looking forward to our interactions. I think our students will be looking forward to the interactions with you personally on Google Meet. I should mention to all students, super important, I should have mentioned it sooner. There is a Google form in the description. Please fill that. That is an inaugural batch. This is the inaugural batch. There will be special provisions for the inaugural batch. We want it to be a healthy batch. We want the right people to join in, fill in the details. Somebody will get in touch with you. They'll share other details with you, and you can come be part of the team, and you can come join into this whole big thing that I described. So anything, any parting thoughts that you'd like to explain to the students, please?
Parting thought, I think most of the institutes, whatever they offer, I would not like to boast about what they true about you, but we are here to tell you also to give you awareness about multiple things of how to prepare, where is the gaps which are there in your preparation, and this mentorship thing which you are saying, what does it actually helps to an aspirant is, it will actually show them the true colors of the gaps, so that we can raise them their bar, and which will help them automatically to clear the exam. Obviously, we'll see that some of the people will say that if you read this, you will clear this exam.
Yeah, no,
That doesn't work like that. What this approach will help them is, it will raise their bar. The moment it raises their bar, they are here for the long run.
yes.
That is what I have really liked about the that holistic nature of this course, and this is what I am also excited to be part of.
100%, sir. We'll look forward to it. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot has been said. I've explained all the features, and I don't think I've explained the features more than I've explained actually the philosophy. You know what we are trying to do here. It's, I think, very obvious. We have not scripted this. We just said what we felt to be true.
Yeah.
We can't wait to have you on board and to get started with us. One thing, like I mentioned, just in case there was something missing, we also have offline meets.
Wonderful.
This is the one we did recently, and a beautiful event.
Yes.
And if I know that people join us from all across the country, but if they come here on the offline meet, the bond that we create is permanent, more or less. And we'll have these also going forward, and you'll have the opportunity, all the students will have the opportunity to meet them, to talk to them, to get to know us better. And so this is another super duper feature which I find it, I think, the most exciting of all. And if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask us. And if not, then we'll close the session and we will conclude and we'll start the program. Quick reminder, gentle reminder, Google form, link, inaugural batch. We want a healthy turnout. We are excited. If you are inclined, fill that one. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It was a pleasure speaking with you. And
Thank you, sir. Thank you, dears. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.